I want to take you to a courtroom in Austin, Texas, in March of 2025, where a federal judge had to rule on a motion that, 10 years earlier, would not have been imaginable. The case was a routine civil matter, a contract dispute between two small businesses. The plaintiff's attorney had filed a brief that cited 6 judicial decisions in support of his client's position. The defendant's attorney, in response, did the basic legal research work of pulling those 6 decisions and reading them. The defendant's attorney discovered, to his confusion and then his alarm, that none of the 6 decisions existed. They had been, in the technical phrase the courts now use, hallucinated. The plaintiff's attorney had drafted the brief using a generative AI tool, had not checked the citations, and had submitted the brief to the court with 6 fabricated cases in it. The federal judge ruled the brief sanctionable. The attorney was fined. The case was in effect gutted. The attorney lost his bar license, eventually. By the time it concluded, similar cases were happening, on average, twice a week somewhere in the U.S. federal court system. I am starting with this story because the story is the introduction to the largest cultural problem AI poses over the next 20 years. The problem of trust. The technology is every year getting better at producing things that look authoritative and are, in some fraction of cases, false. The institutions we have built over centuries to verify what is true, courts, journalism, peer review, scientific publishing, regulatory disclosure, financial accounting, expert testimony, are not equipped, in their 2026 form, to handle the volume of plausibly false content the technology produces. The institutions are going to have to adapt. The adaptation is going to be slow, painful, and uneven. The trust problem is treated, in popular discussion, as a single thing. It is several. Trust problem 1. Hallucination at the surface. AI generates content that appears authoritative, a citation, a date, a quote, a statistic, and the content is completely made up. The fix is verification. Tools and norms can require, in any context where stakes matter, that AI-generated factual claims be checked against verifiable sources. Trust problem 2. Voice cloning. By 2026, AI can produce, from 30 seconds of audio, a synthetic voice indistinguishable from the original speaker. The implications for fraud, for scams targeting the elderly, for political manipulation, for blackmail, are immediate and severe. Trust problem 3. Synthetic video at scale. Trust problem 4. The slow erosion of the documentary record. When any image, audio file, document, or video could plausibly be synthetic, the evidentiary value of all of them, including the real ones, declines. Trust problem 5. AI-mediated trust. As AI becomes the layer through which most factual queries are answered, the question of which AI you trust and on what topics becomes a daily political question. What do we do about all this? Some of the answers are technical. Cryptographic provenance, content credentials, C2PA-style signatures embedded in cameras, microphones, professional-grade publishing tools. By 2030, journalism and courts have largely adopted these standards. Some of the answers are institutional. Verification firms emerge as a profession. Newspapers hire chief verification officers. Insurance markets price the risk of fraud differently. Some of the answers are cultural. The same way our great-grandparents learned not to believe everything in the newspaper, we're going to learn not to believe everything we see and hear. The skill of skepticism is going to become more valuable, not less. The world we lived in for 200 years, where most documents were probably real, most photographs were probably real, most recordings were probably real, that world is over. The world we are entering, where most documents could be synthetic, where verification is a cost, that world is here. What you do in 2026 with this? You ask, you verify, you build the habit of verifying. The cost of not building the habit is going to be, by 2030, very high. That is the chapter, better than we are doing. Here is the rest of what I have to say about it.